I'm Yvonne. I'm from Kinsfolk Carers Edinburgh. We're a registered charity supporting kinship carers in Edinburgh citywide. We also support kinship carers who not only care for children who are affiliated to the Edinburgh area, we also support children who come from other districts of Scotland. Over the 32 councils, there's children who are affiliated to Glasgow if they are in the system. Kinship care, and I know some of you know or heard about us, but some of you may not know what kinship care is, or what kinship care is to us as kinship carers. A number of years ago, about 7 years ago, when I was kinship caring and having difficulties with my daughter, who at the time was really heavily involved in drugs, and had a daughter. She also had 2 other siblings who were in the system. And I went along to this group that I'd heard it from Simpson House, from Lynn here, and through that met Glenn. I'd heard about this group that was starting up through a bunch of kinship carers, mostly grandparents, and I'm not meaning this that all kinship carers are grandparents and grandfathers, but it tends to be a lot of the time that it is. So I went along to this group down the Leith Community Centre, and I walked to the door. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go along and, share my family problems and with the world, because first step to admit what was actually going on in my family, and to the extent when I was thinking of details, explaining things, feeling ashamed, embarrassed, and not knowing that anybody would understand what was going on. But I looked through the door and I seen about 7 or 8 people sitting there, and I just looked, and somebody had caught my eye and beckoned me into the room, and I went in, and I've never looked back since. Since that day, I became actively involved, and as we talk about community building and talking about people taking charge, about building things as a community without professionals, the help of professionals, that's exactly what we did. We came together as kinship carers, and over the last 7 years have accessed over 800 carers. Now, as I say, not every kinship carer has children affiliated to Edinburgh, but it's a massive, massive amount of people. Sometimes overwhelming, sometimes probably too much to handle, but as a group, we've got there and we've worked together to do this. Now, going back to what I was saying, what I've got out of the group is what I would say from me personal point of view is an empowering to see that I am important. I do mean something. I have a say in this, how things go. And I have this responsibility to the children that the child that I was caring for, and to my daughter, to do what I could to help. And that's exactly what I did, along with other carers. And when we talk about today about recovery, and I had to think 2 minds, my personal situation and then as a group situation, and I thought, well, how am I going to talk about this? How am I going to say about the group situation and how kinship carers feel about recovery and their involvement in that? But then I thought, no, I'll go down the personal route and I'll tell you my story. And I've not done this for about 4 years. But my situation is, as I say, I'd cared for my granddaughter up till last year. She's now 15, fantastic wee girl, very bright and intelligent, but not without difficulties in what she's faced in these number of years that she's been with me. Although she hasn't lived with her mum or her dad on a long-term basis, she was with them very short period, and from the age of 5 months was brought into care. So the impact of that, of me caring, of me trying to juggle everything and coping with my daughter and doing, as we've heard, the best for everyone, trying to do what you think is the right thing, and a realisation that, through the strength from others, you're limited in what you can do. You can only do what you can only do, and that's a learning path. To this day, I have to say, for me, sadly, my daughter hasn't taken the recovery route and still has this, as far as I'm concerned, chaotic lifestyle and misusing drugs. And it's sad, because the end story is, for us, is we don't know what the future, well, we don't know what the future holds, but as I've just had a discussion out there just now, and it's sort of hit home, where you prepare yourself, you always hope for the best, but you prepare yourself for two outcomes, and that is, Mary, that one, that everything will be okay, that two, that you don't get a knock on the door to say that everything isn't turned out the way you wanted it. But I have to say, for kinship carers, it's really, really difficult. The complexes and the, what's expected of you to care for these children is huge, and the challenges that you face of feeling isolated and feeling judged. Your community is other kinship carers, and sharing these experiences can only help and can only grow. And through that, that's what's helped us grow, is people have tapped into each other and said, we've got this group here who they really know what they're talking about. We have a positive group of regularly about 30, it's anything from 20 to 30 carers a week that come along. And believe it or not, we do have a laugh, we do. And we have to, because it's what makes us survive. And we share the experiences, and we're not here to judge and advise or tell them what to do. It's just about sharing the experiences and saying, well, this is what I did, and this is what I did, and signposting these people into the relevant places where we're not experienced in, and we can do that. And we've done that many times for the children when there are difficulties and complex needs, along with to Simpson House for Sunflower Garden Project, to Vocal for carers when it's for advocacy. Because I could go on all day here, I could stand here at 4 o'clock and talk about all the different issues, and obviously you'd have to stop me, but I don't want to go that route. Just what I'm saying is, for the kinship carer, there needs to be more done. There needs to be more support within the family unit for the carer, for the parents who have issues, and for the children, because I think the majority of the burden is put on the kinship carer to deal with the two issues. And in real terms, I know as a kinship carer it's not possible, that you need more support for that. Because of the issues within just the caring for the children. It's something that we've seen many kinship carers, struggle with, and being so desperate, actually pulling their hair out for help, needing help, and it's not readily available there. A lot of kinship carers are left to get on with that. Whether, I don't know if professionals that here will know whether you're within the system, meaning children are looked after and accommodated, or not. Both now. It used to be, we would feel that maybe the children who are looked after and accommodated within the system would maybe have a wee bit of a chance of getting support. That's not the case these days. We're finding that a lot of these children and the carers for them are coming to us and saying, this is just not happening. They are really, really struggling, and there needs to be more done. As I say, there are agencies out there who are trying to do their bit, along with Mentor UK as well, with all these different programmes. Because in the long run, when you talk about outcomes, for us, we would hope, and I think for every kinship carer it's the same, that at the end we would all like the perfect story, we'd all like the kids to be returned to go to their parents, because that's what the children want as well. But to enable us to do that, we need help. Real resources going in there, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be a case of what's happened in my situation is I'm totally estranged from my daughter, because we just can't go there. We just can't. We can't face the complexes that it brings, the danger that it brings as well, and the threat to exposing the kids yet again for maybe the 10th, 20th time, whatever, to these things that can cause the damages. So yeah, definitely more support, definitely. Okay.